Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you're watching Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And joining me, as always, is my co-host from the Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks podcast, Double OT Terrific Trav. Trav, how you doing today?
Peachy, you know how.
I know you're always either peachy or cool, and if D was here, D would be ready to go. But D, he is not here because I guess he's back in the Speed Force, Trav. I mean, you already know how it is. Yeah, that's what he does. But, since, we're talking about the Speed Force, we are doing a spoiler review this time, because we did the non-spoiler review, and your boy, when it comes to spoilers, I always blow them. And I was happy that when we interviewed Tom White for the Unauthorized Documentary review, I didn't spoil anything because, like I said, your boy, he spoiled stuff. But joining us today is the cast that was in Lex, and that is Mr. Trip Rumble, who played Lex. We have Mr. Michael Vin Jr., who played Superman. And then we have Vanessa Pazmino, who played Mercy. How you doing today, guys?
Doing good.
Excellent. Thank you.
Living the dream.
Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. And before we get into today's spoiler review, everybody that's watching, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And if D was here, he always says that the podcast link is down below in the description. Like, follow, subscribe. So let's go ahead and get into this video. So when we had Tom up here, we asked Tom the questions about Lex, and now that we can talk about spoilers and whatnot, I just want to ask you guys, how was it being a part of this project? Starting with you first, Trip.
I got involved in this because I had Tom had seen another film I did with some other friends. He liked my performance in that. He asked me to be part of this film called Hero, which is part of his Bad Things, Good People series of short films. And that involved me wearing a suit and tie. And he saw me in the suit and tie, and he's like, "Oh my God, I've got to have you play Lex Luthor because I'm bald." And I thought he was just kidding, like most people are when they say that. But then 2 years later, he hits me up with the script. And I was like, "Oh, you were serious?" And I should have known because it's Tom, but yeah, and the script was incredible. And I was just like, yes, absolutely. Just let me know whenever you need me. Give me a month for this pandemic acne to go away, and I'll be camera ready.
I ain't heard that term before. I like it.
We got pandemic acne.
Yeah.
That was bad.
It never went away.
But it never no. Had to get some concealer. But yeah, that's how I came to be involved with that. And just like I love working with Tom every time.
Nice. How about you, Vanessa?
Oh my gosh. So I don't really act. I dabbled a little bit in high school, but after, joining the working world, I've only ever really wanted to do things. So Tom hit me up out of the blue on Instagram. So getting to be a part of this whole process has been just amazing.
Nice. And Mike, how about you?
So Tom and I go way back in the area here. I've known him. I've done films with other people, and we did an homage to him in one of a hot potato thing that he put on. And I worked with another director, Scott Hansen, and Desiree Connell on that. And they put in a little kind of hat tip to him in the script. I was playing like a sleazy guy. So our film debuted at his film festival there. And so I met him through that. And then same with Trip. He did an anthology kind of thing with Hero was one of them. I was in one of those as well with actually Kyle, who plays one of the henchmen there that he calls like stupid and all that in that scene. Who's a really great guy, and we played in one there. So I had worked with him, and then he had hit me up like last fall and was like, "Hey man, we've had some scheduling conflicts with somebody that we wanted to play the Man of Steel. Would you be interested?" And I was like, well, I never really saw myself as like the Man of Steel. I saw maybe more like Batman or something like that, or Punisher. That's the thing. But I was like, dude, I got you, man. Like, I'll come and try to fill out the suit. And I'm like, I just told him, I was like, I'm carrying a little bit of holiday weight right now, so like if you're cool with that, and then all that. So that's kind of how I kind of came on in the project, and we went from there. And then I had heard of Trip and Vanessa, but I had not met them in person as that. So that's kind of my journey. It was kind of a last minute, kind of like, hey, you want to do this? I'm like, yeah, man, let's do it.
And you know, sometimes like that's how history is, man. It's just like somebody couldn't make it, or like somebody got injured or something. We just like, hey, we need to put you in this spot. And then you get put in the spot, you knock it out of the park. And then now when we get Lex the Unauthorized Documentary 2, then you know, we'll see you again as Superman. You know, that's one of the things that, you know, I wish that I could have seen more of in the movie was you as Superman. Cause it's like, we only got like a brief stint of Superman, which at the same time, I think is really unique because, you know, over the years, we always see Superman in media and we always see his side of things, but we never really get to see Lex's side of things. Like, I mean, we see Lex, but like to actually like see him. And Trip, I just want to say that I really love your interpretation as Lex. I feel, I mean, you know, of course we had got, I'm mad, I can't remember his name. Is it Jesse Eisenberg that was Lex in the Batman versus Superman? And yeah. And it's like, I feel like we haven't really had like a good Lex on anything since Michael Rosenbaum and Smallville. So like seeing you as Lex, I was just like, man, like you knocked it out of the park. So I want to ask you, like, have you always been, you know, or have you been a fan of Lex Luthor?
I got really into comic books I was born, just to date myself a little bit, I was born in 89. So when I was like in the single digits childhood age, I grew up watching the early 90s, like Marvel, X-Men and Spider-Man cartoons, the Batman the Animated Series, and my first exposure to Lex Luthor was through the Superman Bruce Timm animated series. And to be honest, my interpretation of Lex Luthor is really kind of half kind of what I was putting into it and half just me trying to imitate Clancy Brown, Lex's voice actor from the Superman and Justice League cartoons. But that got me into superheroes, and I had been buying comic books, you know, my young and recent adult life ever since. Like, absolutely.
Nice. Trav?
Now, one thing I also really love too, I don't know how tall you are in real life, Vanessa, but the way that they shot this, you know, you look tall. And I really like that they did that because they make it a point, you know, to be like, you know, it's Amazonian woman type thing, you know, badass. And it really came across on screen. And I just thought that everything was well done as far as who the characters were and what they were going to be.
She's actually 6'3.5" in real life.
Kneeling in all her scenes.
It's like what's the chick in the Orphan movie? Like they put everybody like in giant boots so that way that they look like they were taller than her. That didn't happen on set, did it, Vanessa?
No.
We just all kneeled down. That's it. Just she got a rider and no high level boots for her. We all had to like kneel down.
That just reminded me. Y'all remember that Corn Pops commercial from the 90s where they get like on their knees and put the pants on so they just look way shorter so they can get the
bro? I don't know what you're talking about.
Nah, bro, we talking the Corn Pops commercial.
What?
I'm telling you. Yeah, hey, when we get done, y'all YouTube it. Corn Pops 90s.
Corn Pops.
Sorry. Hey, you wait, I'm gonna send it to Banks later. He gonna be like, all right.
Bro, the only thing I remember from the 90s is the Capri Sun commercials. Like, I don't remember
the Hostess commercials with the shark.
What was the commercial with was it Chef Boyardee where Chef the can Boyardee, rolled all the way?
Yeah, the can would roll.
Yeah, the cold. But you know, Vanessa, to you know, keep it on the scene that we're talking about. Like, how did it feel being a part of an action sequence in that scene?
Well, honestly, it was probably one of the things on my bucket list, I'd have to admit, because I feel like I had somewhere to put some of that like angry energy, so I just kind of channeled that.
Yeah, I mean, I know like when it comes to certain scenes, like I believe it was How Did I Get Married? Not How Did I Get Married? Why Did I Get Married? I can't remember. It was one of those Tyler Perry movies. But anyway, like after Michael Jackson had passed away, like Tyler Perry had told Janet Jackson in her scene that like just destroy everything in the room, and like that's what she did to let out all of her anger and sadness. So it's just like I think it's cool that was something that was on your bucket list to beat somebody up in a scene, which was really cool. Like I really enjoyed it.
Man. Gave him the old slap.
Smack. That's hey, Bruno won't talk it no more. We don't talk about Bruno. But you can ask.
Vanessa and I had a stare down in the conference room that we did take after take, and we'd stare each other down, and then he'd cut, and then it was like laughter because it was like, at least from my side, because it was like trying to see her like be mad after she's like also like helping Tom with stuff in the film was.
I worked on a set before with Vanessa, and Vanessa is everywhere. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
But yeah, Trav, you can go ahead with the next question.
All right, I got to first. I'm gonna give my answer, and then everybody else can kind of chime in with what theirs is. This is my big question I've been holding in. So, what was probably like y'all's favorite scene to record? Because for me personally, watching it, and I told this to Tom, I think my favorite scene is the Lex conference scene where the lady's talking about, they shouldn't take that gamble. And Lex comes in with that really good analogy of like Kodak or whatever it was from like 1960 some, and I don't remember exactly how it went, but like the writing was so really good on this whole entire film, and that's my favorite scene. So I want to know what y'all's favorite scene.
Well, I guess I'll jump in.
Yeah, I was just like,
I should have said a name. I should have
said a name. I was just like.
I think my favorite scene, I enjoyed that scene a lot, the conference room scene. I got to kind of just watch because I didn't have a whole lot of lines in there, but watching Tripp like do those lines and kind of everybody in the conference room was a fun experience. It's also a funny story about like being in the costume and walking in there and like for the first day and everybody's at the thing and about the way the costume fit. That like with Tom, I had to take him aside and I was like, hey man, I'm just gonna let you know, like you got this like spandexy suit that's the same consistency of like a downhill skier racer, and I was like, there's not a lot to be left to the imagination. So like, how do you want to handle this? He's like, we're just gonna shoot you from the waist up, man, it's cool. However, walking into the conference room with everybody sitting down and you see in the scene where I'm at, everybody's eye line like is looked over, and I hadn't met these people yet, and I looked and then kind of looked down, and I was like, okay, cool, this is a great introduction to everybody. But we figured out a solution after that to make sure that that was PG-13, kind of thing.
Nice, nice.
My favorite scene was the hallway scene where the Superman is like his apparition. Again, we're spoiler free, right? We can.
Spoil. Yeah.
Like, all right, cool. So it's where he's kind of hallucinating and seeing Superman, like the evil Superman, kind of come towards him and stuff. Like that was probably my favorite scene to shoot, just because of the way it looks cinematically, the way they lit it. Sergio lit it and filmed it, and of course, like Vanessa and Tripp were there, so it was kind of cool when you get to be working with the other actors in that kind of a style of scene. And then the way we did that was with a hoverboard that Sergio had in his truck. I don't know why he had it in his truck, but he had it in, or wherever his van was. So they come out and they're like, hey, here's the scene. You're going to be floating down the hallway. And have you ever ridden a hoverboard? And I was like,
I've attempted. Both my kids got hoverboards, and I won't on there very long. Let's just say that.
I've seen those hoverboards at Trav's house, and I'm just like, I'm good.
So like for me, like the other Tripp and Vanessa had done improv and stuff, but I mean, they kind of drill in your head. You just yes and so you're just like, you know how to ride a horse? Yep. So it was like they go, you know how to ride this? And I was like, sure, we'll figure it out. And so like Sergio came over, he's like, do you really know how to ride? And I was like, I need like 10 minutes to like figure this out. So he helped me kind of like, he was like, you got to do this and this. Almost bit my ass a couple times, or wiped out a couple times, and we kind of figured it out enough to kind of get down the hallway, and so that was kind of fun because we nailed the shot, and then they were pretty pumped about the shot. So that was a fun scene for me personally to shoot.
Nice. Vanessa,
I think it's funny that this is my answer, but the thing that I enjoyed the most was getting to ride in the limo.
Yeah.
I've never been in a limo.
I think that's cool. I mean, I was just about to say something about that pink limo that's out Virginia Beach. Like, can you imagine if that was? I don't know why I was thinking about the pink limo. y'all know what limo I'm talking about.
Yeah,
yeah.
Out of a pink limo, that's super badass, right?
Trip. What about you?
I'm picturing that film now, but we just used the pink limo instead, and just no one addresses it. No, this was it was a really fun experience, but part of it was weird for me because I'm not a mean, aggressive, angry person at all, and Lex is all of those bad things as a supervillain. So it was always a little uncomfortable to be shooting scenes where I'm bullying someone or harassing someone or being a creep or mean or evil. But there is one little thing, that speech that Lex gives when he's falling asleep in his big boy chair, and he has his little evening drink. Like, I like shooting that because I'm not being absolutely horrible to someone in that speech. And it was kind of a fun speech. His voice just kind of goes like beings like Superman, like his voice kind of goes up and down during that, and it was just fun. And any scene where I get to kind of relax and drink something is fun. But I think that was my favorite one because that caused kind of the least amount of, like, I don't know how to put it, personality stress on myself. Because when you're the villain in this stuff, like, I found myself leaving set kind of mean. Not just the experience of shooting, but when you're just in character as this jerk the whole time, you're like coming to and from set, like, I missed the light. Damn this light! Like,
Pump and gas. Oh, the gas will pump. Right?
I've always wanted to play a villain, but it was a little surreal. But
yeah, for me, my favorite moment was when Superman and Lex finally, met in the room. And now I don't know, like, watching this as a viewer, but maybe Trip or Mike, y'all can let me in on this. But does Lex know that Superman is Clark Kent in this movie?
That's a good question. I don't think we ever kind of established that. Like, Tom never really kind of gave much backstory on that, if it was or not. I was almost going to do just like a response because it's like an unauthorized documentary. I was almost going to send Tom something where it's like Clark is like, "Hey, have you seen this unauthorized documentary by Lex?" He's sitting on the computer, like, just being like, "What? Let me see that." That's actually a good question. And I think if they extend it, and if I'm invited back, that we'll definitely pull that into the character development for sure.
That would be interesting if Lex knew for most of their time in rivalry, but it just didn't bother him.
Right.
Like, kind of like he's just like, yeah, I know. What do you want me to do? Attack him when he's not in his costume? Like, what difference is that going to make?
That's right.
Yeah,
he's pretty brazen in this. Already kind of goes toe to toe with. Just is like not even affected. Of course he's taking the stuff to get the powers and all that. So
yeah. I mean, the only reason why I was asking because, like, when he had made the comment about, "Are you still telling people that you're from Smallville?" And so I didn't know how to interpret that, like whether he knew that Superman was Clark Kent or if he was just saying that because, like, Superman has mentioned that I'm from Smallville. But I just feel like it's always been one of those things where it's just like, well, if Superman mentions that he's from Smallville, it's like, how many other people, because it's a small town. So it's like somebody would know. So that's the only reason why I was asking that question.
It would be super meta. It'd be super meta if Clark Kent were to do an unauthorized documentary. But not reference Superman at all. Just gonna be the unauthorized documentary of Clark Kent.
Yeah, no, that would be funny. But no, I really love that scene, and I love the dialogue between both Lex and Superman. And it was one of those things where it's just like, yeah, we've been enemies for a long time, and it's just like, even though I really don't like you that much, it's like I still want to help you because that's what heroes do. It's just like they help people. But no, that was one of my favorite scenes. So we're here at the end of the review now, and I just want to hear something from all three of you guys to tell people, like, why they should check out Lex. And I'll start with you first, Vanessa.
Well, honestly, I feel like I identify with Tom Holland in that I had to keep this from people, and it was really hard. And I really wanted to tell people that I kicked butt.
You could have said ass.
Yeah, you could have said,
really
everybody gets one F bomb.
Excellent. I didn't even check to see if this was a PG-13 kind of.
Yeah,
Guys,
we're
apologize.
PG-13. No, you're cool. You're cool. You could have said heck or butt like Vanessa. But no,
Yeah.
continue, Vanessa. Sorry.
Yeah, I wanted to tell people that I break necks. How about that?
Right,
There
yeah.
you go.
That's the truth.
Break
Handing
necks
out
and
slaps.
cash checks.
That's right.
I like that.
With bitch slaps.
Mike.
Like Vanessa, I was the same way. Like Tom had sent me the trailer to see, and he was like, "You cannot share this with anybody." And I was like, "Got you, man. I won't do it." Then I watched it, and I was like, "That was kind of dirty, man." I want to share it now. This thing looks awesome, you know. And but I would say it's a very creative take on the Superman, Lex Luthor mythos. So I think it could occupy its own kind of lane from what WB is doing, or with Warner and all that's doing with Superman franchise now and Justice League and all that stuff. I really feel like somebody who is a producer who has connections or whatever could run with this and kind of make its own little thing. Like I told Tom, I was like, I could see this, the way you even shot it kind of fits on like CW or a streaming platform as is, and just put it out there and see if people want to watch more of it. I mean, the thing I get from people that I shared it with were like, I got hooked into it and then it ended and I was like, where's the next part? So that's always kind of cool when people are, instead of being like, oh yeah, that's lame, kind of thing. Or you get the thing like, because as actors, you send stuff to your people that know you and they're like, yeah, it was good. And you're like, okay, that's your like, this is going to stay in our friends and family kind of circle. I feel like this has got some legs. I would say that when you get to work with people as actors and you work with people that kind of help you raise your level of acting, that's always a plus and a bonus. And watching Tripp kind of do his thing with Lex, I mean, if you're any fan at all of comic books in general, but especially if you're a Superman fan, you're going to really want to watch this, the Unauthorized Documentary, because Tripp, I've told him this to his face already a couple times when we've seen each other, but he really knocked it out of the park. And so it made it really easy to kind of go toe to toe with him because he kind of helped raise the game for everybody. So I think everybody should check it out, see if you like it. And if you like it, push it up and see if we can get another one made. It'd be fun to put the costume on. Maybe get a different costume this time, but like put the costume back on, and or even put the glasses on and do the Clark Kent thing would be fun too.
That would be awesome.
We have pictures of it. Yeah, we have pictures of it. But we never got to that part in the script, or there wasn't that part in the script. So it would be fun to kind of go do that as well. So,
hey, well, it's like Ludacris said in that DJ Khaled song. I was on the remix, but now I'm in the original version. So,
there you go.
Yeah. Hopefully we see that soon. And Tripp?
Well, first I would say, Michael, thank you. That's very flattering praise. I don't take compliments well, so I don't know what to do here.
My cash app is no, I'm just kidding.
I know. No, thank you very much for that. I mean, honestly, I think Tom brings on like the best people for these projects. Like he'll get the best guy for cinematography. He'll bring in the best actor for Superman. Like it's easy to feel at the top of your game on a set with everyone that he brings with him. And I also want to say, to Michael's credit, like something that I really liked about this was kind of one of the first big, this is going to be like good moments I think we had was when Michael first showed up in the Superman suit when we were all doing those test pictures. Right. When we got that picture of you, and we have there's this, I don't know if Tom ever posted this, there's this picture of Mike, his head's kind of bowed, he's in the Superman costume, and there's this light coming straight down on him, and he looks just like the Alex Ross cover.
Yeah, he did post that. I remember seeing that.
Beautiful, yeah. So that was my first, this is going to be excellent moment of this film. What was the original question? I'm sorry.
Why should people check out Lex?
Oh, yeah. Why should people check out Lex? It's just a really good, it's a fan film that's a level above a bunch of other fan films you're going to find out there. This was made with a lot of passion. It was an original script. It just has all these interpretations of characters that aren't just people trying to imitate existing interpretations of these characters. Mm-hmm. This is a very fresh take on everyone. Mm-hmm. And I'm in it.
Right.
So, I like that. Yeah,
check
it out.
Is the
this is fun because for my friends, they've always made jokes. As I mentioned earlier, it's like, "Oh, are you playing Lex Luthor? Oh, you should be Lex Luthor." It's like, this is it. Yeah. This is that. Mm-hmm. So it's easy for me to keep this a secret when I had to keep it a secret because I just kept saying, "Yeah, I'm Lex Luthor," all sarcastically. The joke's on them. That wasn't sarcasm.
I loved it.
Travis, is that cover one of the test pictures you were talking about, or did you actually just shoot that specifically for the cover?
For the Lex one that's behind him?
Yeah.
That was on that day too, wasn't it? The trip?
Yeah, that was, I think I don't know what he had planned on that day.
Huh.
But I mean, that was
so sweet.
Yeah, gosh, those are good. I mean, it's just a huge shout out again to Tom White and Sergio Lorenzana and everyone else who worked on this and made us all look so good. Like they're the greats.
Sergio is always on point. Check out his other work too. He's he works with Tom a lot, so most of Tom's work is with Sergio. But they nailed all of that. And there's a lot more pictures and stuff too. I mean, they had some of them at the end credits where they kind of did the cool thing, which I thought was pretty neat. But there's like the one that they shot of you with the police department thing that was like shot in the back. Like we were at the space that's a creative space. Michael O'Mell has it down over in Norfolk, and he let us shoot there, which is a shout out to him for that. But he in the back, they were just looking for cool things, and they were like, "Hey, let's put you up against this wall." And it's cool, happy accidents like that, that when you're on spot and you can do some cool things. But those pictures definitely turned out like really, really well.
Yeah, God, and that police mugshot thing, like they got me looking at the front. They got me kind of like, throwing some facial expressions there. And then they got a side shot of me, which helped me learn that I need to correct my posture very badly. If you go and look that up on Facebook.
Oh, I felt that way about the scene there in the conference room because they shot up.
Oh yeah,
oh man,
like fresh out of pandemic lockdown. It's like lockdown. I got some work to do.
The holiday weight on. I was like, he's like, you're filling out the costume, but I'm like, I'm filling out the costume a little extra. If we do the next one, I was like, I'll be back to my like fighting much better.
Well, I'll be handsome for the sequel. No, another thing,
less Photoshop and touching up in post.
Yeah. As far as reasons to watch this go, though, I just thought the first impression I had when I saw the finished product was, I can't believe that was 17 minutes long. It felt way shorter.
It goes by.
So it's definitely, it goes by really quick. And the feedback I've gotten from friends and family and strangers who have checked it out has always been like, are you guys doing another one? Like, it leaves you wanting more. So it's definitely a worthwhile investment of your video watching time. And
big shout out to Tom White on that for the editing and the pacing and all that cool stuff.
And something we didn't touch on in this video, but we did in the last, was how good that film score is that Brandon did.
Yeah, that was amazing.
So
for
good.
sure. It was
that evil, the like the twisted, evilish version of the Superman theme that plays when Hallucination Superman shows up, like in the hallway.
Man's the best.
Yeah,
I want to see more. I want more of Hallucinations. That was easy. That was fun to play.
Yeah,
yeah, but I mean, thank you so much, guys, for joining us up here. And like they just said, check out Lex. It's on YouTube. The link will be down below in the description. And before we let you guys go, starting with you, Vanessa, let everybody in social media land know where they can find y'all at.
Oh, I'm at Love Letters to Virginia podcast on Instagram, and
that was my dog.
Cool.
Well, was that it? Just the love letters?
Yeah, I was going to give out the website too, I guess.
Okay, yeah, you can go ahead and give out the website.
It's loveletterstovirginia.com.
Okay, all right, cool. Thank you very much. Michael?
I'm under Michael Vin Jr. Or actually, I'm sorry, actor MVJ on Instagram, but it's Michael Vin Jr. And the same on Twitter. And you can find me there and hit me up. And if you got projects, let me know.
Trip to round us out.
I'm on triprumble.com. It's a little website that's like a collection of all the videos I've done. It's got my social medias. Trip Rumble apparently is a interesting name, so I was able to claim those on Twitter and Instagram and all that. Just like the words Trip Rumble, passes the Microsoft Word spell check test. But yeah, you can find me on there.
It's like the best stage name without being the stage name, man.
I know. I feel like I should be a lot more jacked than I actually am with this.
I feel like the universe was like, no, you're going to be an actor, dude. Like
or a pro wrestler or something with this. Or a client.
Well, I'm a pro wrestler, so I mean, maybe
Mm.
You know, maybe if we need a manager, I mean, we can have Lex Luthor come out to the ring with us. I mean, but
that would be dope.
I'd love to. Let's do it.
Yeah, hey, but see, then you would be a good guy. You wouldn't be a bad guy. So, I mean, we'll figure it out.
Okay.
Trav, let them know where they can find you at the social media land.
Of course, I'm on the Instagram at ZK Audio, and I'm also on the Twitter at TRAVIOSCK. Thanks.
Dang, you're not gonna do anything cool, like, you know, if they need a hero. Like, come on, Trav. Like,
Hey.
that's it. You can find me at Hero Benjamin Banks at King Benji _Banks on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. You can find me on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Thank you guys for joining us up here on this spoiler review for Lex. Y'all make sure that y'all check it out. Y'all go to the channel. Like I said, the link is down below. Check out some more reviews, reaction videos, interviews that we have here on the channel. Check out our podcast where we have brand new episodes every Tuesday. The link is down below for that as well. And then the video of that interview is up here on YouTube on Friday. So with that being said, keep that pinky up, stay positive, stay safe during the spooky season, and we'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Peace.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Podcast, we got that too. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons. And if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.